The Indiana South District camp of the Wesleyan Church has a rich, notable history. Until August 21st, 1951, our church was one district in the state of Indiana, centered in Frankfort. On that date, there was a vote to create a North and a South District. On that same day, Dr. Melvin H. Snyder was elected the first superintendent of the newly formed district, along with 8 other district officials. The new Indiana South District immediately faced a quandary. The campgrounds at Frankfort had been the hub and center of the Indiana District, which was now the Northern District. But the newly formed Indiana South District had no campgrounds, no centralized location for the gathering of the churches in the district. Under the guidance of Dr. Snyder, the district leadership set out to establish a campground by 1952. Several locations were considered. After numerous meetings, Dr. Snyder called his leadership team together for a retreat at the Spring Mill State Park. It was a time of quiet meditation and prayer, seeking God's will and making a decision concerning the new campground location. Dr. Snyder brought to his board's attention the site at Orleans, Indiana. It was located on a good highway, and although the terrain was rough, the area was full of beautiful trees. Utilities were available, and it was centrally located in the district. The price was reasonable. 7 members of the district leadership team made the trip to the Orleans site, and even before the men were out of their cars, there was an excitement in the air. As they walked through the wooded area, Dr. Snyder asked Pastor Fry to pray, and this faithful elderly saint of God placed his hands on a giant tree and prayed fervently for God's guidance. By the conclusion of his prayer, it seemed like a prayer of dedication. The search for a campsite was over. Things began to move rapidly. Thorn bushes were cut, water lines were placed, tabernacle benches were constructed. A tabernacle and a dining hall were erected. For the first several years, people attending camp lived in a tent city. Tents covered the east boundary of the property bordering Highway 37. There were small tents accommodating just 2 people. There were larger tents for families. Some of these could handle 2 to 3 bunk beds. There was one large dormitory tent for men. The back of the tabernacle was used for the women's dorm. A beautiful entry to the camp was constructed along Highway 37. Police were employed there at the conclusion of the evening service to keep traffic moving. By the summer of 1952, the Orleans camp was in operation. There was a tabernacle, a dining hall. Everything was new. It was an exciting time. 70 years has passed. The campground has survived. All the initial leadership team has passed on. 6 district superintendents have served faithfully and have gone to their reward. Generations of people of all ages have attended Orleans Camp. The camp has served as a beacon of hope and salvation to a troubled world. The impact of camp will never be known until we reach the other side. A task force, which is now the camp board, was appointed last year. Its responsibility is to update the facilities, maintain the property, make the camp fiscally responsible. It is our prayer that as Orleans Wesleyan Camp has served as a source of spiritual enrichment and enhancement for past generations, so shall it continue for many years to come. Our camp has a rich heritage. blessed with godly leaders, and attended by dedicated parishioners. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, the legacy is passed to our generation. May we accept this responsibility prayerfully and thoughtfully. May our prayer always be that Orleans Camp will prosper on and on in reaching souls for Jesus Christ.